Hello and welcome to the Adobe InDesign video on layers. I will have a separate video for the Photoshop layers because layers work somewhat a little bit differently than InDesign, but still works the same. The concept still works the same. So I have here a picture. It's a collage I made for a Spanish project a few years back, and I've remembered this and I thought this was a great way to discuss layers. So as you can see here, I have my background, which is blue paper, and then I pasted all these different objects on the page. So I have my clouds pasted on one layer, I have the back of the waterfall part, one layer, then I have the water coming out of it as one layer, then the rock, the rest of the rock here to cover up what I have there. Then I have a bush. So everything in this photo here is layered. So think of layers as a way to place images, text, and everything else on a separate layer, and helps you distinguish between where you place your items or your objects on your document. So let's get started in InDesign. So here we are in InDesign, and we're going to talk about layers, right? So I have two objects here. I have just a regular rectangle and my logo that I just placed into this document. And notice in the layers panel, move it over here, they show up as separate things on the single layer. I can hide them. So the little eyeball next to each thing here in the layers panel, I can hide the rectangle, I can hide my logo, or I can show them, or I can show one or the other, or I can completely hide the whole entire layer instead. So that's showing and hiding certain objects or the entire layer. I can also create a new layer. You can use the little page sticky note button here, or you can use the little drop down button here and create a new layer this way. You can even duplicate a layer. You can even change your options for your layer. So I'm going to actually change some options here. Maybe I can't really see the light blue on my screen so well. You can change the color of your layer. So maybe I want it to be purple. And maybe instead of generic layer 1, maybe I want it to be my logo. So I'm going to name it logo. I want this layer to be shown. I don't want this layer to be locked. I do want this layer to be printed. I do want to show guides, and I don't really want to lock my guides. So if I create guides, I can see them. And I'm going to select OK. So now notice that there's the color purple next to each item on this layer, on this single layer. And notice how each item on this layer has the purple frame around it. So that's the color. So if I were to make a new layer, so I'm going to create a new layer, notice how layer 2 shows up and it's a different color. It is now blue. So now when I go to, I'm going to place something real quick. I'm going to place this other photo here, and I'm going to open and I'm going to place. Notice how in layer 2 now the frame around the whole object is blue and the other objects are purple. That tells you what layer you are working on. So it helps you distinguish what layer you are working on. So that's that. So if you want to now delete a layer, you just simply select the layer you want to delete and click the trash can, or you can just simply drag it and drag it to the trash. Now, of course, InDesign will prompt you. It's saying, are you sure you want to delete this layer? And of course, if you want to, go ahead. If you're not sure, you're like, well, maybe not, go ahead, click cancel. But I'm going to delete this layer anyway. So now I've deleted that layer. And so yeah, let's talk about links now. When you place text documents or photos within your document, you establish a link to another part of your file directory on your computer. So this image, my graphic here, is located let's see where it's located. I'm going to minimize this. It is located in this folder here. And so here it is. What happens if I accidentally move it? Let's say I went to organize my files and I just happened to accidentally move that to the desktop instead. So now when I open up InDesign again, notice in the links panel, to get to the links panel, you go to Window and Link, or press Shift Command D or Control Shift D on Windows, excuse me. And notice how when I click on it in the links panel, so it knows the name, it knows the file format, it knows what page it's on, it knows the color space, but look at the status. The status is missing. You can reestablish the link within this document. So I'm going to hit the drop down menu. You can relink it. You can relink it to a folder. You can relink the file extension. You can relink to your Creative Cloud library if you have it saved there. So yeah, I'm going to click relink. And I placed it on the desktop. So now all you have to do now is find your file, select it, select open, and now the file is relinked. So if you happen to move something around in your document or your file that you have linked into your document, you can always relink it if necessary. So yeah, that's links and layers. I hope this video was informative for you, and I'd like to thank you